It was July 25th. I was working at a comedy club in California, and it's a Tuesday night, and we have a 2-for-1 night, so it's packed. And these two ladies come in, and they're attractive, and they shouldn't have been able to get in, but we got them in. We got extra chairs and we brought them in, and they just happened to be believers. I didn't know that. But after the show, I talked to them, said goodbye, I took off, and as I was driving, something told me to go back to this restaurant I normally would go to after work sometimes, and it's a bar and a restaurant. Well, I went and got a beer and a shot of alcohol, and I went to talk to them, and they started talking to Jesus to me. Now this is on July 25th. July 26th, a little bit after midnight, they asked me if I wanted to ask Jesus into my heart, and I said yes. And pretty much that's it. That night, I went through most of the New Testament and into the day. I didn't sleep more than maybe half an hour that night. When I first became a believer, I had hunger for God's Word. I went through the entire Bible 3 or 4 times within a few month period, and almost immediately started Bible studies at the job that I had. Not good Bible studies, because I was in the faith movement, and then I met my wife, and she got me straight. She took me to Calvary, Costa Mesa, and I heard Chuck teach just the Word. Still wasn't sold on going there, but the Word being taught, and that was it. And the priority on the Word, which is how I felt when I was just a believer, it was God's Word, and that's it. And I wanted to share it with people. I definitely had a lot to learn, though, at that point. So God put it there. That's all I can say. I started teaching at CCBC Mexico about 2.5 years ago, I think now. My first actual class, though, was spiritual warfare, and I made a lot of people cry, and some people actually left the class during the class, and they came back and were now friends. It was a very difficult class for me and for them, but we ended up doing something that was really fun at the end of class. I gave them the option of doing a paper or doing the haka dance in the field that you guys have here. And we had like 20, 30 people out in the field doing the haka, guys on one side, girls on the other side. My experience here, the only reason I come is because of the kids. I just love the kids here. I love the people here. I was asked by one of the pastors the last time I was here in the fall, he said, "You must really love Mexico." No, I don't. I love being around God's people. And I love Mexico because of that. And I love being on this campus because the kids and most of the staff, no, all the staff, are pretty awesome too. But the kids are a total blessing. That's my experience, is just joy. The experience here as far as a campus, I've been to several different campuses. My first experience with Bible college was over 20 years ago. I went to the affiliate campus at Calvary, Costa Mesa. And it was similar to what I have in Utah, but not at all like this. Murrieta would be more similar. But honestly, if I had my choice, I would come here just because it's away from the States if you're a believer. The community or the fellowship or the love that God demonstrates here with the students, everything else is different. But there's also, in this place, I think there's a lot of trials and a lot of tribulation, and that's what draws me here, is even though there's conflict, like there is with any family, anywhere in the world, the students here and everything else always come back together. The students and the staff always know that Jesus is the most important. I'm sure that's kind of at other campuses, but I've never lived on one for 5 weeks like I do when I come here. And I get to know the kids and the staff well. Murrieta, very nice Southern California campus, beautiful, great teachers. Just Bible college in general is wonderful. This campus is a way just to get away from stuff and just center on Jesus. For me, I would recommend Bible college for any believer, no matter the age. Most of the people here are kids in their early 20s and younger. And it's not so much to just get books and to learn. It's the fellowship that they should be gaining through the Bible college, and just having that group of friends after they leave, and going with that, as far as that's why I would come to Bible college, is to know God, obviously, but to know God through His people. And people, my advice to the students: stop worrying about the books. You came here to learn about Jesus, and that's just not in the books that you get. That's not just the classroom. That is being with people and not always study. Big mistake. If that's all you're doing, you miss the reason you came. Stay out of relationships. That'd be another one. Everybody, you come here and you're going to find somebody that loves the Lord, and you're going to be drawn to them. You've been called to serve Jesus for 2 years. Wait for 2 years. Finish, complete it, and see what the Lord does. And just do not be too consumed by your studies. You miss Jesus by doing that sometimes. You need your own time. You need to get away from the books, away from the classroom, and just hear from the Lord for yourself, not for a teacher, not for anybody but yourself. And that way, when you're doing your stuff, you'll actually be more productive. People think, well, if I'm out just doing my devotions with God, I'm missing doing this work, or whatever that I have to do. And actually, by doing the devotions, they're actually able to do it better when they're out by themselves, doing it for themselves. Martin Luther and the great reformers and the great men and women of God would tell you they get up 2-3 hours early every morning just to pray. And honestly, if you do not do this here, you will fail. You'll fail for the reason you're here. I experienced this myself. When I went to Bible college, it was books. And that's when people fall away. That's when people, not from their salvation, but they get frustrated and they get discouraged because they're not taking the time that they're supposed to have with God. So that's it.